Welcome to our next signing for Idaho on the Idaho signing day. This one is a safety, Brilan Reynolds out of Stockton, California. He is 6'2", 180, as listed on the signing day roster that they have on GoVandals.com. Another kind of quick thing looking at it. He had a couple other offers from Big Sky schools, being I think a couple were Montana, Northern Arizona, Portland State, and I want to say there's a couple of others. Kind of big comparison were some other Big Sky schools as well. Patrick, what are your thoughts on Brilan Reynolds?
Yeah, he's got a great size for a safety, a big size safety. He's tall, long, and the first comparison that came to mind to me when watching his film was Mervin Kenyon, who just entered the portal. Um, Brilan had kind of limited senior film, but his junior year film got me really excited. Um, he's one of those guys that like brings the boom from the safety spot, and I'm not sure if he'd be playing more of a strong safety or a free safety at Idaho, but it he wouldn't shy away from coming up into the box and making a tackle, which is always great to see with the safety, especially in the Big Sky where you got those running teams now. I think that the whole conference is going towards more of a ground and pound and defense type thing. So it's good to see a safety that can come up and make tackles. Um, in high school, he played in a defensive scheme where you see here the old 10-yard cushion of not death. Shout out Dallas. But he has some amazing closing speed that you don't see every day, and he played that scheme very well. It, I think playing that scheme where he's like 10 yards off, don't nobody behind you type thing like he did in high school kind of takes away from his abilities to show his true coverage ability. But his closing speed was great, and that's kind of the main attribute you're looking for in a DB, like speed, good hips, and closing speed. And he has all of those attributes that you're looking for. He's one of those guys that would just sit in the back pocket of receivers, like just not even looking like he's trying. And so, I mean, I think that's going to develop into a guy that is a stud at Idaho. To be completely like transparent here, I think he's going to be a stud. Uh, Sometimes he can do a little bit of the shoulder tackle, trying to make a big hit, and he doesn't wrap up sometimes. But again, that's a coaching thing. Like it's gonna come and he's gonna get coached. And he does look a little skinny in his film, but like he is 180 pounds. Like he's not small. Um, I'm sure the coaching staff will try to put on some weight for him, so he gets a little bigger and can handle the physicality of Division 1 football a little better because Idaho likes to have their safeties play down in the box sometimes, especially against teams like Montana State. Um, and if we're going to be in the playoffs, we're going to be playing teams like North Dakota State, South Dakota State that love to pound the rock, and you need to have safeties that can come up and hit. I think he's going to be a guy that can do that, and he just overall has the speed and the agility to be a good cover guy as well. And I think he's going to be a guy that's just not going to get beat over the top. That's mostly what I got for Brilan. I'm really excited for him.
I 100% agree with you what you said, Patrick. I just kind of like again instant reacting to his tape, but another DB I'm excited to have, whether that be he maybe plays right away given Idaho's current DB situation is we'll probably see that when he comes in fall camp. So I'm not going to make any predictions that way just because my track record with making predictions for DBs, signing day DBs, is less than stellar. Shout out the 2021 class there. Not a fun one. Other than that, I'm excited for Brilan. I know I'm just always excited when Idaho gets like good sized DBs. It's not something I'm very much used to, but I think he could, like you said, be one that plays well for Idaho for years to come.
Yeah, and I love that he comes up and makes tackles towards the line of scrimmage. Like it makes me think a little bit of how Tommy McCormick sometimes is making those tackles like 2 yards past the line of scrimmage, and you're like, why is our safety making tackles up there? But he makes those plays. He's so quick that he's there in a second, and that that's always something fun to see. And another thing that was impressive to me is on his highlights, we see him able to fight through blocks from like linemen and tight ends and get 2 ball carriers in both the screen and the like outside run game. With the way he triggers so quick and accelerates forward, puts his foot in the ground and takes off, he was snuffing out the screen game a ton in high school, and that's always something that is a good quality to have in a conference like the Big Sky when you're playing. Idaho plays Eastern every year now, and Eastern loves to run screens.
Oh yeah, 100% agree with you, Patrick. I know Kenny just maybe wrapped it up there, but any final things before we move on?
No, I'm excited to see him.
Oh yeah, 100%. And as always, Tubbs the Club is brought to you by Hughes River Expedition and Snake River Stampede Whiskey. Go Vandals.